don't worry, we're not putting this to the wayside. I will come back to this. This week though, we've got something bigger and better going on. So let's get the truck packed and head down to Muncie. I'm gonna basically be down there for a week straight. So I've got my suitcase, a couple helmets, a bunch of parts, and then those are CUDA seats. If anybody needs 70 CUDA seats. Tools, extra wheels. This is gonna be good. There she is, the Ruster.
So us over here at the Broken Gear Show have had a lovely opportunity with QA1 and the Go Drive It movement to help improve the Ruster. And it's going to get actually reliable and not drag the tires anymore. We have double adjustable shocks, dynamic strut bar, torsion bar adjustable bolt things, alignment adjustment kit. I couldn't remember that one. And we have tubular control arms. It's getting totally tubular, bro!
So normally with the Ruster, you get one pump of the gas pedal. Bring that idle back down. Why is this our best car? Slant sixes though, I'm telling you what, these are the best engines, period. You can run them without oil, unless you're cam racing, and then they develop rod knocks. I mean, these slant sixes, they're bulletproof. The little 904 in here kind of,
It does burnouts.
It does burnouts.
I don't know how.
Yeah, it's got like a 7 1/4 rear end under it. So the last time I drove the Ruster was at the Gambler 500, which you'll see here. And it banged and rattled and scraped. And we jumped it twice, me and John with Mad Scientist Garage. So after that, I reached out to QA1 and I said, hey, we love this car. It's great. We have a lot of plans for it. We'd like to build it, but right now it doesn't drive straight and it's kind of unsafe. And we would like to put a QA1 suspension under it, and we wanted to know if you would help us build that solid foundation for the Ruster. And they said yes.
I don't know how you managed that.
Me either, because I mean, right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, whee! Should probably let these people past us.
Nah, we're just playing chicken with them.
I can't see out the windshield at all.
Or just turn on the heat.
What heat?
Oh, what do you mean? It's, you know, right there.
Left turns good in the Ruster.
That's quality.
Oh yeah. This is also one of the few times 2 people have ever been in this car and gone anywhere.
Because it rubs.
Yes, a lot. Hopefully we're gonna fix that. I think we will.
I hope I don't crash on the way there.
Oh, that's what, half mile maybe down the road? Yeah, you can do it.
I smell tire.
Oh, just doing a burnout.
On the fender?
Yeah.
Washing windows, definitely on the list.
That is steam.
Ooh. Wow. Well, that could be why. Probably just burning off some mud. Should probably clean that out. This gets started on tomorrow.
Is it like a waterbed?
It is. I would very much liken it to a waterbed.
Interesting. I wonder how much it's going to stiffen up.
a lot.
So it is the next day here in the barn. Don't mind my breath that you can see. It's very cold in here. I do have a heater, but it's pretty loud, so I don't want to record with that on. Anyway, we've got front and rear billet aluminum QA1 double adjustable shocks. Now, being billet aluminum, they're very lightweight. Double adjustable means that you have more options to optimize your ride comfort per your desired application. And then front and rear, of course. Our dynamic struts. These are also adjustable, very lightweight. I mean, I could juggle these things. But these are basically to increase the rigidity of our chassis, especially being a unibody car. That's very important because there's a lot of flex in that if you're taking hard corners, or in our instance, if we're jumping it. We have our nice billet tie rod sleeves. These are actually quite a bit heavier. They're very strong and very nice construction. I forgot to order the tie rod ends, so I will have to order those. And of course, our upper and lower tubular control arms. Now, what's really nice about these is obviously they're a lot better than the pressed steel factory ones, but also they've got the, I believe it's nylon bushings in them, which makes them really nice. They're gonna last a lot longer, and they're just great overall. Now, everything here on this table, and one of the things that QA1 has really strived for is everything is compatible with factory equipment. So I'm not gonna have to change our K-member in order to do all this. Granted, I could. They do also have K-members. It's a V8 K-member. Of course, the Ruster here is a slant 6. At some point, maybe we will get a V8 in it. But everything's compatible with factory. So let's say you didn't want to spend the whole shebang at once. You can also just buy the upper control arms. You can just buy the lowers or the dynamic struts or the shocks or the tie rod sleeves. You don't have to buy it all in one shebang. And they're really pretty reasonably priced for the quality that you have. So that's what we're working with here. We're going to get the Ruster all set up. I got these big jack stands, Jack. We're going to pull these big meats off of it and start the teardown, because that's probably going to be one of the more time-consuming parts, just because everything that's in this car has been on there for quite a while. Well, that's not good. I just took off the wheel, and we use these wheel adapters, and I think we're lucky because that's broken off. One's already on the ground, and our adapter is split in half. Well, I just dropped it. Looked at those in my hand, but yeah, we were in some trouble there. Now, I do have some nice thicker steel ones at home. These are aluminum, so might end up having to run back up to Fort Wayne to get the big heavier steel ones. So the easiest way to get a lot of these parts off is actually going to be to take the brake line off, because otherwise when I break the lower ball joint and the upper ball joint loose, then it's just going to kind of hang from our brake line here. I don't really want it to do that, so I'll just disconnect it. The brakes weren't done in this too long ago, so that shouldn't be too hard. I shouldn't break that while disconnecting it. So that way we can just drop our whole hub assembly off, because we're not going to do anything with the knuckle. We're just going to swap out the control arms. And then, of course, our shock right here, and then our tie rods right here, and then our strut, which is this guy right up here in the front. So my biggest battle right now is cotter pins, because, well, there's one whole one, there's a bunch of parts of one, and then the one up here with the dynamic strut isn't actually a cotter pin, it's just a piece of metal jammed into the cotter pin hole. But they're all just seized in there and kind of just falling apart. One of them's literally just sitting down here in this pile of dirt, in pieces. There's nothing left of it. It's just pieces, and the end of it is actually still in the tie rod end. So that's not that convenient. This is why this is the longest part, because just getting the cotter pins and everything out on, you know, this is a 74. You know, this thing's 46 years old. Yikes. There we go. Jeez. About time. So all the ball joints are broken loose. Finally. That was not that easy on this bottom one here. Pull my crusher off the... Come on. Got our whole knuckle off. It probably would have been easier to take all the drum and brakes and everything out of it to get to these ball joints. But I didn't really want to. And I have lower ball joints for this because the QA1 suspension came with ball joints in the upper control arms, but not the lowers. But I do have new ball joints here somewhere for them. So next I'll just take the pressure off of this lower control arm. I have the bolt out of our dynamic strut here, so then this should all lower. Then we can pull the retainer pin out of the, So then I'll pull the retainer clip off the torsion bar. That way we can kind of slide all of this out, get the torsion bar out. I do have V8 torsion bars in a parts car out there that we'll put in it. The V8 torsion bars are going to be a little more beefier than these slant 6 ones, so it'll help give us a little more lift on the front end, which we can desperately use.
Desperately.
So here's our torsion bar bracket. It's got a little retainer key in here. I'll show you that with these pliers. I can collapse that ring. If I can get in there and do all this one-handed. Now, you can at least see the way that ring is. So we've got a bunch of crap stuck in this one. But basically, that ring will come out. Yeah, I should probably clean that out before I try taking it out. That would make it a little bit easier. But that'll come out, and then those torsion bars are going to come straight out the back here. Let me reiterate, because I probably wasn't clear about this earlier. There was so much pressure on this lower control arm because the torsion bar couldn't be loosened up because our like the ride height adjuster here was stuck. Thanks to the impact and a lot of patience and a lot of yelling, that is now out and it's over there somewhere. So now I'm gonna have any pressure on that, which should make it a lot easier to remove. We gotta pull all that junk out and then pull our upper control arm out, which these camber bolts can kind of be a pain in the neck sometimes. But yeah, then we'll have, I guess the shock, dang, not even close. All this stuff has to come out still. Yeah. All right. Come on, there we go. There's your lower control arm, your strut rod, and our torsion bar, which is gonna have to go out that back side. Yeah. That's a souvenir right there.
Good travels.
All the travel.
I don't know what this thing is, but I don't like it. Because now it's preventing me from taking the shock out.
All right, we're cutting it.
There we go.
Okay.
Now there's a nut.
Oh, it's probably spinning down here.
Oh, that whole thing's
Yeah. that is it for day one here. We pulled all the suspension here out of the passenger side, and because I didn't think you guys would want to watch it all twice, went ahead and just pulled all of the suspension out of the driver's side. They were about equally as difficult. We got fought a lot with cotter pins, and well, we had a camber bolt here on our driver's side that really gave us a run for our money. In fact, right when we got on it, we broke the head off of the other side. So that was really convenient. But I wanted to take a moment here to give you guys the side-by-side comparison on all of the parts that we've taken off the car compared to what we're going to put on. So obviously we have our lower control arms, little different construct here, mostly with just the positioning of where those strut rods kind of go in, although it's tubular compared to the pressed box steel, which obviously is going to have its differences anyway. I could not get the strut rod out of this lower control arm. That's why there's only one of them sitting over here. But just the difference here, and you can feel a huge weight difference. And don't get me wrong, it's heavy just because it's going to be heavy. Our upper control arms, left and right. Camber bolts, pretty much going to be the same. This had a new ball joint in it. Didn't make it any easier getting it out. But yeah, I mean, look at the huge difference. Obviously, it's going to perform a lot better. Our strut rods, I'm really excited about these. These make me really happy to see, not only because they look really good, but this car can use all of the rigidity it can get, and these definitely have a thicker diameter than our stock ones. Our shocks, and this is probably one of the biggest downfalls of this car, is one, that shock is completely collapsed, and you notice there's no rebound on it. And this shock is in multiple pieces because, well, we had to cut it off and it broke, and then we cut it, and then, okay. Our tie rods, I still need to get new tie rod ends for our new ones, for our new sleeves. These things are junk. I don't know how we ever got away with using these. So that is a wrap here on day one. I'm excited to go ahead and start putting all of these new parts on this thing tomorrow. And I just want to point out before I leave tonight that is a giant, colossal pile of dirt. Let me just give you a size comparison here. That's the sledgehammer. There's my Bosch drill. Those are really big jack stands. There. That's the size of that dirt clump compared to a control arm. And there's probably 3 of those down there and a whole bunch of smaller ones. I'm going to blame John Bunker for that, Mad Scientist Garage, because he jumped this after I did. And when he jumped it, he knocked the belt off of the power steering pump. And I think that's because of the impact in all of the dirt coming straight up into all of here. That took quite a bit of just kind of scraping at it. Obviously, there's a lot more that can be done in here to help with that. So this is our parts car. It's a 73 Dart Sport. I picked this up for $600 sometime late last year. Maybe it was mid last year, I don't remember. Basically it was so cheap because in 73 these had a disc brakes on the front, and the guy really wanted the disc brakes. So he took all of those components out, which they have different upper control arms because they have a bigger ball joint, and then obviously the disc brakes. So those are all missing out of it. But it is a V8 car. It's got a little 318 in it. Nothing extreme, a little 2-barrel under the hood. Car's actually not in too bad a shape. It's going to be worth saving. We're not going to do it. I'm going to pull a few things that I want out of this. He doesn't want the drivetrain. He doesn't want the bucket seats that are in it. I don't think they're factory bucket seats anyway. But I'm going to take the seats, take the drivetrain, and then take our V8 torsion bars. Now I believe he's going to end up going LS. It's going to be a little bit lighter. He's probably not going to need the real heavy torsion bars anyway, so I'll swap him out with what's in the Ruster, the slant 6 ones. Yeah, I might not do all of that right here, right now, but I at least want to get the torsion bars out of here. All right, so we've got our torsion bars out of our donor car here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera the difference in diameter of these. The ones out of this Dart Sport here are definitely a lot thicker. They share the same size end piece, so they're transferable between the two. But yeah, these are going to give us a lot more girth and stability in the Ruster that we need. All right, well, since the entire car is torn apart now, we've got our torsion bars out of the donor car. I think it's time to go ahead and start putting some of these nice, shiny QA1 parts on. Wow, these are by far the nicest part of this thing. All right, well, let's get started. Grab a rubber mallet here. Perfect. Grab some of these nice camber bolts. And then what we'll do is we'll put these in, zip tie them up, that way they're kind of out of the way but still in already. And then we'll start working on the lower control arms and move forward from there. Alright, so I know there's some lower ball joints here in the trunk. Oh jeez. Gambler 500 might have done a toll on the trunk here. That's a lot of mud. But there's one. Ah, they're like brand new on the inside. How about that? And there's the other. Okay, we're good.
We're gonna put in the fancy-dancy new Shocky Boy. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. I thought I was gonna be able to sit here and do this.
That's because they're good shocks.
That's true. I'm used to the ones that are, you know, two separate pieces, torn up like a tin can. You just sit here and play with them. This stuff's too good. Way too good for this car. But we're gonna stick it in here anyway.
Hold it right there.
Trying anyway.
Yeah, I have to put quite a bit of pressure on it to
Get the rubber to slide.
Yep, and then okay. Well, that'll at least get it so we can set it in place.
Yeah, there we go. That works. Alright, let's see here. Get in there.
Like a glove.
Oh wait, are the adjusters supposed to be on the front or the back? I guess the front would make more sense.
Probably. I don't think it really matters.
So I guess so long as you can get to them. Oh, I can see a tip.
What in the greasy mess?
I don't know what you're talking about. It was like that when I got here.
No, it wasn't. All right, so Carson is working on the dynamic strut bar.
I don't know for sure what I'm looking at or what I'm doing, but I got that one to stare at and I don't know, plenty of time to maybe figure it out.
So I went ahead and just stuck the other one in, and we're gonna watch Carson fight with this one.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. You do know where it mounts, right?
Yeah, I know one side needs to go wherever the hole is right there.
Yeah.
And the other side needs to go in that hole.
All right. Well,
I got that part down.
you're off to a good start.
I'll take that. I know if there's one thing I'm good at, it's getting things stuck where they should never get stuck.
All right, hold the camera. So the trick to these is you have to install the front of them first. So give me enough thread to get that completely sideways. And then tighten it down to shorten up my strut as far as I can. Slide this in here first, and then you loosen that up so you can pivot your end. And now that is where your dynamic strut bar is going to lie, right in there.
Well, you made that look really easy.
Helps I've done it before.
It looks good in there, though.
Yeah, it does. So it's day 3 here. Day 3 because the first day was literally just pulling the car in the barn and taking it on a little test drive. But anyway, it's day 3 here. I went back home to Fort Wayne this morning to grab these guys. These are nice steel wheel adapters. Now we're using wheel adapters because our Mopar is a small bolt pattern Mopar. It's 5x4 inch rather than the big bolt pattern Mopar, which is 5x4.5. These adapters convert over our bolt pattern. That way we can put these bigger Jeep wheels on it. But we already have a problem. You see, these wheel adapters, they fit on great until it actually needs to go down and sit flush. Oh. Wait, no, it did it that time. Shit, we're using the steel ones. I thought we were going to have an issue because the first time I tried putting these on, it seemed like they got caught and I couldn't push them down all the way. And these aluminum ones have a bigger radius in the middle for the hub. So I thought we were going to get stuck having to use these other aluminum ones, but I'm redacted. Those are gonna work. Right back down here on the wheel hub. This is where we had our broken off lugs. I went ahead and pounded those out. I tried to drill them out because that's a better option, but apparently all of my drill bits are burnt up. So I've got those out. I'm gonna go ahead and press these guys in. The correct way to do it is to probably actually use a press. I don't have one or access to one, so what I'm just gonna do is kind of set them here in the grooves, and then I'll flip her around, stick one of our lug nuts on that, and just kind of zip it on, and that'll force these studs through and into the meats on the back of the studs. That way they stay in. Yep. This is what we revert to The Demon has the same lug nuts on it, and they're those low profile ones that'll fit under those wheels in the wheel spacer. So we're just gonna steal a couple of them. Find one more. There were only 4 lug nuts on that wheel. Yeah, this one has the same ones. Meeny, meeny, miny. Sure. We have officially made it a parts car. Oops. Now that our wheel adapters are on, I'm going to start working on our tie rods here. Probably should have done this before the wheel adapters, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to kind of match the length of our current tie rods, or what was in it. I don't think they're going to be correct because of how messed up our alignment was, but it's at least somewhere to start. So I'm going to go ahead and get these put together, and we'll get those stuck in the car too. Then everything will be installed except for our rear shocks, which I'd like to get this all buttoned up. That way we can put the car down on its front wheels to jack up the rear end. So that's where we're at. And there we have it, greased up and installed on this side. Got our nice dynamic struts running across the front, and then greased up and installed the driver's side. So as far as the front end goes, we're wrapped up. I think we're ready to go ahead and stick our big meats back on this. I will probably jack up the torsion bars a little bit and mess with those before we move on to the rear end, but as far as I'm concerned, wow, this thing's ridiculous. Look at how mean that looks. Now the suspension will settle a little bit. I might get another inch lower just based on the settling of the suspension. I wouldn't mind it being about an inch lower. If it doesn't settle a little lower, I could always adjust it. But oh my goodness, the difference is just ridiculous. There's actually like some rigidity to the suspension. I can't wait to see how it performs and see how it drives. I just want to go drive it. Like hashtag go drive it, which if you're not familiar with what hashtag go drive it is, it's a campaign ran by QA1, which is all about going out, driving, and enjoying the cars that you have and sharing them with the world and everybody else in the car community. So it doesn't matter what you drive. It's about going out, making friends, and enjoying it. No garage queens, no trailer queens. It's just good fun and enjoying what you have. I thought I remembered correct. Need to get in the trunk to get those bolts, because those are actually our shock mounts for the rear. How about that spare tire, boy?
So I apologize. We actually have a new mic for our GoPro, and unfortunately I initiated it incorrectly during this segment of our footage. So we have absolutely no audio for the entire rear shock installation. It's a pretty straightforward process, so kick back, relax, and enjoy this quick little montage.
have it. We've got our rear shock on our left side and our rear shock on our right side. So all we have to do now is put this last wheel on and make sure we tighten everything up and give her a go. Yeah, our camber definitely needs adjusted, and it looks like we're kind of looking a little club-footed there. So, time to start adjusting. I'll eyeball it as much as I can before we actually try to drive it. Might still have a little bit of club footing, but I'm also comparing it to a really crooked fender. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that side a little bit more. This side's better. Looks like it could probably use a touch more too, though. That's a lot better. Still have a little bit of camber over here. I'm not too sure how to get rid of that. We'll let the professionals take care of that. But there she is. All prettied up. Maybe we'll get a car wash or something. Nah. On my way to the alignment shop, and it is already way better. I'm not holding the steering wheel at all, and it's going straight. It's riding a whole heck of a lot smoother than it was before. Did you hear it rub on that left turn? Because I didn't. Well, let's go get her done. Wasn't too off. I actually ended up making the wheels point inwards a little too much. What is this? What, are you here to like race or something?
A little bit.
Stomp this banana into the ground.
You want to bet? I'm gonna make you slip, mother.
This ain't Mario Kart. This racing. Not even street racing. This field racing. Come on, get with it. Hey, you really think you have a chance with that piece of junk?
Oh yeah, I do, boy.
I'm gonna peel you like a banana.
Well, that's all right. You'll just slip on my banana peel. You're gonna get stuck in the mud.
I think we should just settle this now.
All right.
Ready, set, go!
Yeah, that's right. Eat my mud. Oh no, he's catching up. Come on, Ruster. No!
Woo! Overdrive, baby. See, the thing I did here is I manually shifted my gears.
Why? I got beat by a damn banana.
Yep, you got peeled, boy.
All
Are we switching or are we sticking with the same?
We'll switch.
Switch? All right, let me turn you around here.
Let's go! Ready! Set! Go!
Who designed this piece of junk? You can't see anything out of it. All right, so the Ruster can't beat the Banana in a field drag, and it's way too wet to even try to do a rally cross. But I think I've got something that the Ruster will be better at.
Look at that guy. I just zoomed in really far. I don't know. My own entertainment. Wait up, hold up. All right.
Did we go straight through the windshield?
Well, you went up it a little.
You needed to go faster.
But you did get up them. Don't hit the prelude. Well, you moved the green one back. You're gonna drop whenever you go back. So be prepared for that.
How about that for a photo?
Look at
I like that.
sexy piece of corn.
That sexy piece of corn. Look at that corn. Yeah!
I want it to start popping.
That right there.
That seatbelt though.
That's a quality shot.
Other than the seatbelt.
Just across it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready? Tip number 2. You're slipping. Closer. You don't have any traction on that side.
I think our black view is caved in.
Uh-oh.
You are held on by a tire right now.
Off-road machine.
I just wanted the...
That's easy for you to say. Go out here and fix it.
Oh yeah, I've got that on footage. It's quite obvious that it's not touching anything. It didn't go too well, Captain.
No.
So here's what boned you. You see, you know the pallet over there?
Yeah.
Once your tire got on that and you're trying to push up, it just started spinning because there's nothing for it to grip.
Why don't you just hold them 2 cars out in the middle of the field and get a big old running start? And just ramp it, hit it, land it.
I think we're done here. That's it for this episode of Broken Gear. We want to say thanks to QA1 and go join the hashtag Go Drive It movement. It's on Facebook, hashtag Go Drive It. It's about going out, enjoying driving your stuff, and being part of the car community. Peace. Woo! There we go, QA1 equipped. All right.